Good morning, and I'd like to thank you all for being here this morning. This morning we are announcing the rollout of our latest undercover drug campaign titled Operation Who's Next. Operation Who's Next is a joint drug enforcement campaign coordinated by the Carteret County Sheriff's Office, the Morehead City Police Department, and the District Attorney's Office, targeting suspects engaged in illegal drug sales in Carteret County. For the past several months, detectives from the Sheriff's Office and the Morehead City Police Department have conducted hundreds of undercover controlled purchases of prescription medication and illegal street drugs from area drug dealers. So far, we have made cases against over 100 drug dealers in our county. This morning, we are providing arrest information on the first 17 suspects to be arrested over the past week. Over the coming weeks, we will continue making arrests. And just like during Operation Pill Crusher last year, people will be wondering who's next. Well, we want every drug dealer in the county to wonder who's next and ask the question, am I next? When I ran for sheriff, I knocked on 5,000 doors to get this job. And we'll knock on or knock down as many doors as it takes to combat drug crime in our county and to keep our community safe. I very much appreciate the great working relationship with Chief Morris and the Morehead City Police Department and the strong stance District Attorney Scott Thomas and his office has taken in prosecuting these cases and their partnership. This is and remains a tremendous team effort. And we especially thank the detectives for all of their hard work bringing these cases, building cases, and Assistant District Attorney David Spence for prosecuting these cases. This time I'll turn it over to Chief Morris to be followed by District Attorney Scott Thomas.
First of all, I would like to thank Sheriff Asa Buck and District Attorney Scott Thomas. I'm excited to announce that the Morehead City Police Department has agreed to work with the Carteret County Sheriff Department Drug Task Force. This is a long time overdue and we are excited. The Morehead City Police Department is community oriented and this will give us the opportunity to put our thinking caps on and work together. No one person or agency can do this alone. It takes teamwork. This is to include the community. We all see every day how the drug war has increased. The drug epidemic is destroying families and lives every day. The Morehead City Police Department narcotic unit had been working a one-man unit until January of 2015. And the first quarter of this year, we issued more than 170 felony warrants and seized over $6,000 worth of street value drugs. 45 felony warrants were issued this quarter. Carteret County ranks among the top counties of North Carolina for overdoses due to narcotics. There is no race limit, there is no age limit in this epidemic of selling and abusing narcotics. Both agencies have put in multiple hours investigating drug cases, many 15 to 20 hours a day. Drugs are killing our parents and children, and it's going to take an involvement of everybody. We plan to send a clear message to the drug dealers that we are not going anywhere, you know who you are, and we know who you are. We plan to continue to give the citizens of Carteret County a safe environment and neighborhood. And we plan to set an example for the youth in our community. Thank you.
Sheriff Buck, Chief Morris, and I are pleased to announce the success of Operation Who's Next in Carteret County. This undercover drug operation is a continuation of our efforts to fight illegal drug activity in this county. It represents a coordinated effort by the Carteret County Sheriff's Department, Morehead City Police Department, and the District Attorney's Office. I commend the law enforcement officers who were involved in this operation for the many hours that they spent to build these cases. These arrests demonstrate our proactive efforts to identify, investigate, and prosecute accused drug dealers. At this point in the first round of Operation Who's Next, we have indicted 20 defendants for a combined total of 89 charges. We plan to charge at least 80 more folks over the next few weeks and for a wide range of charges, for a total of over 100 people total charged in this operation. These charges range from possession with intent to sell and deliver prescription pills, cocaine, heroin, sale and delivery of those substances, possession with intent to sell and deliver within 1,000 feet of schools and child care centers, and several defendants have also been indicted as habitual felons based upon their prior criminal record. 17 defendants have actually been arrested at this point and have been processed at the county jail with bonds ranging as high as $795,000 secured. These cases are a top priority in my office. We will be prosecuting these cases in an effective manner, just as we did with prescription drug offenses last year. Assistant District Attorney David Spence with the law enforcement officers will be working to get these cases prepared for prosecution and to move through our criminal justice system. As you know, these charges are allegations that must be proven in court, and we will do our part to be sure that these cases are proven in court. We will evaluate each case based on the alleged criminal conduct and based upon prior criminal records to make a determination as to the proper prosecution and disposition of these cases. At the conclusion of Operation Who's Next, our goal is to see a substantial decrease in illegal drug activity in Carteret County. Thank you.
Many of these offenders have extensive prior criminal records for drug and other serious crimes, including assaults and property crimes. Several are, and after this operation will be, habitual felons. Many are currently awaiting trial and out on bond for other crimes. Several are on probation, and some face mandatory prison time upon conviction on these charges, if convicted. These repeat offenders demonstrate by their previous history and their current activity their disregard for our laws and their intent to continue selling drugs and committing other crimes unless and until they are removed from society. Now, I'd like to speak about, oftentimes we hear about drug crime being a victimless crime. Well, I'm here to tell you, drug crime is not a victimless crime. And all you have to do is ask other people other than us, and they'll tell you. Ask the hospital nurse who has to deal with babies born addicted to prescription medication and illegal street drugs. Ask any number of law enforcement officers who have been assaulted, or the families of those killed by drug dealers, simply because the drug dealer didn't want to get caught and possibly serve jail or prison time. Many of these events have been for low-level drug crimes, which proves that small-time dealers can be just as dangerous as those who engage in high-level drug activity. Recently in our county, we had 2 major physical assaults simply over drug deals going bad, where the total dollar figure involved was less than $100. Both of these serious assaults were against females, one of which came very close to being killed, and the other was assaulted in the presence of her small children, who were terrorized. Ask the parents and loved ones of people who suffer every day of their lives due to the terrible effects of drug addiction. Ask the taxpayer who spends billions of dollars in our country to fund law enforcement agencies, jails, prisons, hospitals, and social service agencies that have to deal with all of the issues surrounding drug crime and drug addiction. Drug dealers and drug addicts are not contributing to the betterment of our society. They are a burden upon limited resources, and the dealers especially are contributing to increasing chaos and disorder in our society, and it will not stand, and we will not put up with it in Carteret County.
This might sound like a simple question, but with Carteret County being one of the top counties for overdose, how important is an operation like this?
Well, these operations are extremely important. I talked about the effects of drug abuse on our society. Drug crime is not a victimless crime. I think the chief and the district attorney would agree that most of the crime we have in Carteret County is related in one way or another to drugs and alcohol and those who are addicted to drugs. And it's also a public safety issue and a public health issue. A lot of people in our county have overdosed and continue to overdose, especially on prescription drugs and prescription drugs mixed with illegal drugs. So this is a very serious issue. The people of the county have worked very closely with our agencies over the past several years with our drug turn-ins. We've worked very hard to reduce access and availability on one end, and we've worked very hard in the enforcement area to tackle this issue from several different directions. And we have to give a lot of credit to the citizens of the county who have supported those programs. And so these types of investigations, not just the big overreaching operations like Pill Crusher and Who's Next, but the daily, every person who's arrested for selling drugs, that doesn't always have a big news conference or that type of thing. And everybody who's arrested for selling drugs doesn't always hit the front page of the newspaper. But these types of operations and the daily activities that are carried out by local law enforcement officers on the ground, police officers and deputy sheriffs and our detectives who investigate drug crime, they are out there every day trying their very best to keep our community safe and to rid our area of drug dealers and the poisons that they're pushing. So would you like to chime in on that one?
So if I'm getting this right, that 80 people right now, they have not been arrested because you're still forming cases against them, correct?
Well, no, actually, the charges are a result of an ongoing undercover operation that's been going on for the past several months. The cases are already built. We've just simply taken this in steps. We've indicted the first 20, and we will be doing this in stages. We will be obtaining criminal warrants for the additional 80 plus over the next couple of weeks. And as we do that, we'll have a round of pickups and get them processed in the court system. What happens is once a person is indicted or once they're charged on a warrant, they're arrested, they go to the magistrate's office and a bond is set. And many of these folks that we're talking about today who've already been arrested are still sitting in the county jail under high bonds. And my office at this point will begin the prosecution of those cases. We've already had felony first appearances for those that have been indicted for felonies. We're in the process now of providing discovery to the defense attorneys, and then we will make plea offers at that time. We were very successful in the last operation, Operation Pill Crusher, in taking this same approach. As opposed to waiting until the investigation is completely over and the charges are filed by law enforcement agency, I have a prosecutor in my Carteret office who's assigned as a special drug prosecutor. So he's been working with the undercover law enforcement officers during the course of the investigation to decide on the charges and to identify the bonds that we're asking for when these folks are arrested.